Hi, I'm Nancy Chanteau, and I'm going to read to you from Access to Power, a radical approach for changing your life. Today, I thought I'd go back to near the beginning and read to you from the Power chapter by Julia Kelleher. This is a section she called What is Power? And it's right near the beginning of the chapter. I'll read to you about this and then talk a little bit about it. Power is part of our day-to-day life. We use it, enjoy it, struggle with it, and are blind to it and to the effect of it. Power is complex, yet we intuitively understand power is at work in our experiences. We sense power at play and respond to it, often without consciously understanding what it is. Power is defined loosely as a measure of a person's ability to control the environment around them, including the behavior of other people. But I, like many people, had related to the concept of power as either bad, something that was used against other people, or conversely, something mysterious and beyond my reach. The word control was even worse. I knew some people had a lust for power, Dr. Frankenstein for instance, and heard that some people were just control freaks, but they were not people a good Catholic girl wanted to emulate. Wikipedia validates these confusing messages about power, stating, "The term authority is often used for power, perceived as legitimate by the social structure. Power can be seen as evil or unjust, but the exercise of power is accepted as endemic to humans as social beings. We all live in a complex world of social rules, relationships, and numerous kinds of power maneuvering. Everyone has personal needs. As instinctual animals, we naturally assert our physical and instinctual powers to meet these needs, sometimes at the expense of others. As social animals, however, we also need to be in relationship with our family and tribe in order to survive. Our need for social approval can compete with needs that are more personal and selfish. We fear being shunned, but we also have a strong desire for well-being and pleasure. This contradiction, when left unexamined, creates much strife and suffering for us. In the 1950s middle-class suburban neighborhood outside Boston where I was raised, conflict and power struggle were seen as unpleasant, unkind, dangerous, and or wrong. Nowhere was I taught that conflict was just a normal part of life, in which people have different needs and different degrees of power, and that negotiation of these needs is important. Once I started looking at power, it made total sense that I wanted control over my life, as did my children and employees. When I accepted that power exists, not good, not bad, I began to learn and engage in the joy, pain, and responsibility of power as I managed both my family and my new business. Most middle-class U.S. citizens have some limited amount of power to create happy lives. First, we develop the power to know what we really need and want, as opposed to what we have been taught to believe we want. Then, we use our power, both individually and collectively, to free ourselves from cultural indoctrination and the resultant fear and addictions. Last but not least, we take action to gain access to the things that truly support our satisfaction and well-being. When we come out of confusion and into clarity about what power is and how it functions, we may then access our existing strengths and resources. Our conscious understanding helps support empowerment, and our empowerment supports positive change. So I wanted to read this just to remind you that power is not actually something that's bad, that even though we have this cultural orientation, often that people with authority are abusing their power, or that power is inherently something that gets abused. In our relationships, power is getting used all the time, and if we name power only as bad, we lose our access to it. We lose an ability to, because we're denying we have it, because we don't want to be bad, because we don't want to be abusers. We deny the power that we have. And so when we don't claim that power, we actually are either operating as if we have less power than we do, which is alienating and disorienting for people and will cause people to feel like we're sending mixed messages and they're going to respond to us differently than we intend, or, which I think is what happens to a lot of people, or we are also missing the opportunity to actually act with the power that we have and have the life that we want, or as much of the life that we want as possible, given the fact that we're operating with less power than we actually have. So there's this huge process of reclaiming that can happen when we neutralize, make less scary, the idea that we have power, and that we have power that we can use in our transactions to get what we want, and that inside of operating within those transactions in a way that we are proud of, that connects with our values, that we can do that by being transparent much more successfully than by trying to push power away. Okay, I hope that helps.